Right, before I intro anything, I want to address something, and that something is that everyone says how fast I speak and that I need to slow down. I'm aware I speak fast, I just don't realise that I'm doing it or when I'm doing it until I'm editing or if I'm speaking to someone and they point it out to me. I do it subconsciously. I don't know why I speak so fast. I just do, it's just how I am. But I'm gonna try and slow down so that you can all stop getting mad at me. Also, another thing I want to point out, we are insanely close to hitting 100 subscribers, which is just absolutely insane to think about. Today I'm going to be reading responses to what is your creepiest / most unnerving experience. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Was coming home to my place at night when I used to live in the city with my roommate at the time. The key didn't work for the front door, so I always had to use the back door that led to our kitchen. The door had that blurry glass window on it, but as I was turning the key, I could see a figure walk by real fast. I assumed it was my roommate, so I went to my bedroom, then checked his room and couldn't find him. I finally went down to our living room, only to find the front door completely open. I called my roommate and asked where he was going so fast and why he left the front door open. He told me he hasn't been to our place in a couple hours, so yeah, I was walking into my house while someone was snooping around. Took a photo of my friend the first day at my new place. He helped me move and then we were just having a couple beers and chilling. He went home and I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning cleaned out. TV was gone and my still unpacked boxes of electronics were all gone too. Door was ajar. I was looking at my photos a few weeks later and saw a foot sticking out from behind my friend in the photo. It was sticking out from a large overhead storage shelf in a small storage room, which was facing into the room and away from the main space. A robber was hiding there before I even moved in. About 5 or 6 years ago, I had been to the pub with a few mates. I don't drink, so I was always happy to drop everyone home, so it saved everyone a taxi fee and they all bought my soft drinks all night. This one night we had stayed out until about 1 AM, when the pub is at a point where they kick you out. We walk to the car, I drop everyone off and I'm on my way home. It's about 2:30. It takes me roughly 20 minutes to get back to mine from my last drop off, and I'm about halfway home. Everything is normal, I've gone my usual route and I've got music playing. All of a sudden, out of the corner of my right eye, I see what I think is a man running towards my moving car, right up to the driver's window. As soon as he hits the window, he disappears. The stereo in my car stops for no reason and I'm just driving in silence, with that horrible sinking feeling of dread, with my hands and feet clamming up. I kept driving until I got to some traffic lights, where I turned the car off and back on to get my music going again. I can't explain what went on, but it still terrifies me to even drive down the street where it happened to this day. A few years ago, I used to bartend in a historical hotel that had been built where a battle once took place. It was late on a weekend and I had just one guest left sitting at the bar. We're chatting as he finishes his drink. I'm filling him in on the history of the area and the cool old features our hotel had, like non-functioning bank vaults on some of the floors, the original water pump in the basement, etc. When I feel the back of my shirt get tugged so hard that my first button came up to my chin. Thinking it was our valets acting stupid, I turned around ready to smack, and no one was there. The guy at the bar jumped back, knocking his stool over and shouted, "What the fuck was that? No one was there and your shirt just moved." I'd never had to calm a grown man down before, so I immediately went into customer service mode even though I was still scared as fuck. I kinda laughed it off and said it must be one of our resident soldier ghosts, upset that I was giving away all the secrets. I literally had to walk into his room and called one of the valets to keep me company while I shut down the bar in record time. The next day I found out that that guest had come downstairs at 3 AM, demanding to check out because he woke up to the clock radio going off and his curtains wide open, which he swore he shut. Lots of creepy things happened at that hotel, but I think that was the worst one that actually happened to me. About 10 years ago, I moved to a different state and found a shared house to rent. I didn't know it was a bad side of town. In brackets, I was a university student at the time. One night, I was walking to the train station to meet some friends and I noticed 2 guys started following me. At first, I thought they were just walking the same way to the station, but I had this weird feeling like I was unsafe. I got to the station and they were standing a few feet away, just staring at me. I got on the train and they got on the same carriage. I started walking and moved to different carriages and they kept following. Finally, the train stopped at a busy station and I got out and stood outside the train by the door. 2 guys got out too and just stood around awkwardly. Just before the door was about to close, I ran back inside the train right when it snapped shut behind me. I saw the 2 guys trying to run back into the train but didn't make it, and they just gave me angry death stares from outside of the train as the train moved. It was one of the scariest being stalked experience of my life. I went trick-or-treating with 3 friends without our parents when we were maybe 10 or 11 or so. It was getting to be around 11 PM and most people had gone home already, and some random guy started following us. At first we figured he was just walking home too because we were little, but we had to take a fairly convoluted 20-minute walk to get back to my friend's house, and he followed us all the way there. When we were about a block or so away from their house, we just kind of looked at each other and we all knew we were in danger and started running. I don't know if he ran after us or not, I didn't turn around, but we told the friend's mom and my parents came to pick me up. A few years ago, I owned a little takeaway / servo, which was in a tiny outback town. The highway went straight through it. I was on my way home one day as my husband had gone to the next town to do some shopping, in brackets, close to an hour away. Anyway, a man came in and immediately I felt a little off about him. I took his order and started making his coffee. He kept watching me as if he was sizing me up, then looked me straight in the eye and asked if I was always here alone. There was something so dark in his eyes. I gave him the spiel, saying my husband was usually here and would be shortly. The customer left but kept his eye on me the whole way out. I don't scare easily, but there was something so dark about him. I was driving home one night on a quiet highway. I saw police lights up ahead, like 5 or 6 cars. So I started to slow down, thinking it was an accident. Then a car sped past me. I looked over as it went past, but then when I looked back, in brackets, literally a second later, the car that drove past and all the police cars were gone. I was so freaked out. So I called my boyfriend right away and tried to explain everything, and he says, "What?" So I said it again, and he says, "What?" And I said, "What do you mean? Are you not listening?" Then in a super robotic voice, he said, "What?" and the phone hung up. So I called him back, screaming at him for not listening to me, and he said he didn't get a call from me. When I got home, I checked his phone, and sure enough, only 1 call from me that day. But my phone showed both calls in my history. I have nightmares about this. Right, well that was the last one that I had saved. I don't know how to feel anymore. I don't feel safe in my house. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then please like, comment and subscribe. Helps me out a bunch and I truly appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you whenever I next see you.